Uh, please.
Okay, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me. Okay, yeah. Yeah, thank you so much. So as usual, we are very much excited to see you all here today. Indeed, actually, we were very much looking forward to this session. So on behalf of our team, I would like to welcome you all to this fourth sharing session. Before we start our session, so I just want to let you know that we are going to have a break today, like for 10 minutes break. We are going to have 10 minutes break after the second presentation. So in that break, we will be discussing around some queries like you have already raised. And but in this session, we may not be able to answer all of your questions, but our main purpose is to collect your questions or queries, and then we will come back to you. I mean, the queries around the, our booklet. So we are going to publish a booklet. So you have already, some of you have already dropped your names and titles. And in this break, we are going to collect, mainly we are collecting your queries then so that we can answer your queries later. So now, yeah, let's move to our first presentation. So it's my pleasure to introduce our first presenter. She is Anju Lama, a teacher at Gyanodaya Secondary School, Kathmandu. She is a coordinator of International School Award in her school. Therefore, she supports her students to collaborate with national and international schools in varieties of project works on the theme of sustainable development goals. She has completed her MPhil degree from Tribhuvan University, Nepal, and she is a life member of NELTA. She is also a member of Curriculum Development Center and an ICT teacher trainer for interactive teaching. So now, before she starts her presentation, I would like to request Sariar sir to chair her session. And in this presentation, she is going to talk about a story of a, so her title, I think her title is Journey of Country Women. So over to you, Anju ma'am.
Please unmute, Anju ma'am. Sorry, it's been muted there.
Yeah, okay, sorry. Good afternoon and namaste, everybody. Actually, this one is my first attendance with that the conferences, this kind of a conferences. Actually, I have not attended any kind of a conferences, especially myself joining here like this thing. I presented, I mean to say here, actually, I have not done this kind of a conferences before. So this one is my first experience. Maybe I'm a little bit nervous here, even though I'm just trying to do my work here. And then my title is here, Country Women. Actually, my work starts from a small village. That one is from Mokwanpo district. And then in 2072, I came to Kathmandu in Gyanodaya Secondary School as a secondary level English teacher. And then there I got the opportunity to do different kinds of a project work. And from there, my story starts here. And then I have whatever I have made here presentation. So I would like to present here. And actually this topic or the story, my story, I just would like to share today. That story is when I conducted the different kinds of activities through the British Council's program. That one is ISA, International School Award Program. And from that time, and then till now, what kind of changes I have got in my school and in my life, all those things are just right now I would like to share with all my participants and then my teachers. So please let me share my screen. I would like to present, and actually I have prepared a lot of so many slides here, but I will try to make in brief here. So I'm going to present my screen here. Okay.
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Okay, thank you. Right now I'm presenting, just a moment, it's loading. And thank you so much. Once again, this one is my first presentations in the conference. So my success story here. And this success story, I started in 2016, actually 2016, and then up to 2019. Lots of the different kinds of project works. And then this one is the opportunity given by British Council International School Award Program. And it still is, this kind of a program is going on in our country, not only in our country. Like this type of a project works, or let's say that the International School Award programs going on different kinds of other countries as well. And then right, I would like to explain about that the before ISC program, how was our schools, especially I'm just going to talk about here ECA activities. That one is extracurricular activities. I'm just going to talk here. How was the condition of the ECA before ISC program in school, and then the while ISC program, and then the ISC program, what's going on nowadays. All those things I will describe here. Okay, before ISC program, actually before ISC program, in our school, most of ESA activities used to occur very few, or let's say once a month, or maybe once once in a 2 months, or maybe once in a 3 months, like this. Very rarely the ECA activities used to occur. And then and most often that the ECA activities used to be like that, the competitions, like only making that the students, that the let's say that the like rivals to each other, competitors, that the win-win purpose, or let's say win-win theme. They just doing that the work with the competition, that I have to win, only those kind of a thinking and those kind of a feelings student used to grow up in their minds. Before, I'm just talking about before ISC program in our school. And then I'm just going to talk about this 25 marks is separated for practical marks. Of course, right now, or let's say in a previous years also, in English exam, mostly 75 marks is theoretical. That one is writing, reading and writing. And then 25 marks is especially separated for the listening and speaking. That one is known as the practical. Students actually, they don't have to take that. They are provided the marks 10 and 15, 10 marks for the listening, and 15 marks for the speaking. They are provided easily. That marks is easily provided. They don't have to do anything else. That one was the condition. And then exam oriented education, especially only the teachers and the students, they used to think that however we have to get the higher marks from the class, and then not other than that the any kind of activities there. So this one, I just went here. And then what did I do to bring the changes to the school? And not only I'm talking about the only small here. Actually, hello? Is it visible? My screen?
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Okay, thank you. And then what did I do to bring the changes?
Hello, Noshin, can you, keep that silent? Yes, sorry, go ahead, because there was lots of background noise from Noshin's end.
I just joined that, or registered. I registered in that the British Council ISA program. And then after that, when I was, let's say that the approved up with my registrations, then I prepared action plans. Around 8 action plans I prepared there. Action plans, especially those kind of plans or the project works I prepare in that throughout the year, I will do this kind of a topic of that the project works I just maintain like that. Then after what I did, I just created a one group, their small group with the ISA group. I named their ISA. I conducted the projects with that, the different kinds of a project there. And especially all those projects where, let's say projects were more focusing on different kinds of core skills. That one was 6 core skills on every project, especially that one is collaborations and communications, critical thinking and problem solving, creativity and imagination, city.
I guess she's frozen for some.
Skill for this kind of a skills from at least they can do different kind of collaborations and communications. Maybe they can improve critical thinking and problem solving methods. This kind of a thing, we just let's say that we focus on the students, and then after we did this, these are some of the list of the project works here. So we did here, actually we had to do 7 project works there in a school, but I just added the 3 more projects for the schools. And then some of the projects were international collaborations. International collaboration means that collaborations we did with the international schools students. We collaborated on different kinds of topics, and some kind of a collaboration we did with the inter-school collaboration, especially national collaboration also we can say here. Inter-school collaboration, especially inside the country, we are actually my school is public school, and then public collaborated with that the private schools, boarding schools. So with the collaboration, we try to learn different kinds of informations, or we try to share different kinds of things from private to public and public to private. And then some of the we did that the in-school project. In-school project means inside the school on the different kinds of a theme we discuss here. So the first one, we did the project, that one is a folk dance of Nepal. And this folk dance of Nepal, especially we collaborated with this project with the school from Pakistan, Ghulam Hussein Khalidina Girls School. And in this topic, what we did, we just collaborated with the title of folk dance, the Nepalese people's folk dance, we dance here. And then in Pakistan, what kind of a folk dance do there. So on that, the informations or different kinds of we share videos, and we did make a lot of the discussion on that, the Skype, especially time, we did not do any kind of a Zoom collaboration. We did not know that, but that period we did Skype conversation with the students, and then we send different kinds of a video of that the dance program. And I just would like to go through that, what kind of activities we did here. And these are some kind of the activities we did on folk dance of Nepal, with the collaboration with the Ghulam Hussein Khalidina Girls School in Pakistan. So what we did, we share the dance, our Tamang Selo dance, and from the Pakistan, that the students, they share their dance. And on that the topic, they learn that how that the Tamang Selo dance, and our students also learn that how students from Pakistan, they do that the Sindhi dance. So after doing these kind of activities, then we did stage show also. In a stage dance, our students did that the Sindhi dance on the stage. And then This one is a kind of achievement or learning of that the different kinds of a culture around the world. Actually, we did this one activities, and I hope you can see the picture of the folk dance there. The activities we did, and after doing this one, we just exchanged that the appreciation letter of the appreciation from both of the schools. This one is just we appreciated the activities whatever we did with during that period, whatever the collaboration we did, or whatever the student learned from that the collaboration, and then further appreciation we just share that the letters. And then next collaboration, that one is also the international collaboration. This is also with the Pakistani schools. We did that one is about the national emblem, or let's say it's also known as the coat of arms. This actually this coat of arms, this project work we did with the Bloomfield Holly School in Pakistan. And in this topic, what we did here, we drew different kinds of a that the coat of arms of our country, and then we share with the schools, with the Bloomfield Holly Schools students, and they also prepared their own coat of arms. And what we did here, we shared with the Skype, from the Skype conversation, we try to give that the information about what kind of a coat of arms of our Nepal, and they also did same thing. Then after the doing conversation, then our student came to know that Pakistan's coat of arms, not only coat of arms, that the national anthem also. And then our student again, drew that the coat of arms of the Pakistan. Then they learned that the national anthem of Pakistan. And then second time again, we did the collaborations through the Skype conversation. When we did the Skype conversation second time, then our student sang that national anthem of Pakistan. And then the students from the Pakistan, they sang our national anthem, our country's national anthem. That one is a very pride moment for us. And then I have to say this one was the very successful project work we did. And then there was the very nice collaboration with this two type of a countries, two different kinds of a let's say that the coat of arms, but from that the one place we just learn the different kinds of a coat of arms and then the national anthem. We share these kind of activities. Then again, we share here that the letter of appreciation with the same Bloomfield Hall School as well. And in the third one is the personal hygiene. This one is purely in school project. And in school project, this personal hygiene, especially we discuss on the topic of the how to be healthy and then clean, tidy. And then for this one, we made that from class 1 to 5, all the students, we just selected from the class 1 to 5 students. And then we just made the student to clean their hands. And then we just did that the one dancing step with the hand wash dance also we our student did there. And then through that,
Miss Anjum, you have 5 minutes left.
5 minutes, okay,
Yeah.
Thank you. So through this dance also, the student try to lots of the things from that, the how to make a clean there, all those things we discuss there. And then in school, speaking in English classroom also provided that the different kind of a opportunity to speak English in the classroom environment. That one is also, I just want to show here lots of the activities, project works we did in our school involving the different kinds of a level of the students, not only that the primary level, secondary level, lower secondary level, lots of the students just involved there. And then they participated in that the project works, and through that the project work in our school, lots that the extracurricular activities occurred there. And just because of that extracurricular activities, they just learn not books, they learn from the out of the book also. And we involve their 20% local curriculum also, which one is right now in our schools also it is involved. And then we did here different kinds of project works you can see here. So this kind of a exhibition also we did here. Now I just would like to say here that the different kinds of pictures also here. Okay, one more thing I just would like to say here, that one is lots of these slides are here, sorry for that, but right now still we are doing the continuations of the projects. It means that we are still doing the different kinds of collaborative project work with the Whitehall Primary Schools UK with the zero waste topic. And the second one is that the ACE Magnolia Maruti Public School, Bangalore, India. We are doing this kind of a project with the animal around us. And what kind of achievement we got from these project work programs? Project works, actually, it was conducted only. First of all, I already told you only 25 marks used to allocated with that the listening and speaking. But after this project works or this ISA program, that 25 marks is allocated not only listening and speaking, but also for the project works. So it is divided like 8 marks and 9 marks for the project work. 8 marks for the listening, 8 marks for the speaking, 9 marks for the project work. From that point, students are just they involved in that the project work, and they started to do different kinds of the project works, not only limiting with that the whatever we made the action plan. Out of the action plan also they started to do the, and then every student actively participated in the project works. This one is the achievement from the program. And then project works are related with the curriculum and the textbook. And then nowadays, our school's student, we celebrate here every national and international days here. And then still we are collaborating with the different kind of international schools and inter schools as well, not only international. And then now what we have done, we have established one ISA club, and through that ISA club, lots of the ECA activities are going on, and we are doing that things. And now plan in future, what kind of a plan we have in that the future. So we are just trying to maintain all those kind of a project works in our future as well. Not only that one, we are just searching the different kind of a countries to collaborate through the ISA platforms, and then continuing projects with the national as well as international schools, and focusing on ICT in teaching learning methods. And why ICT? Because all those kind of activities, whatever we are doing, we have to collaborate with students. And while collaborating with students, they should know about that the ICT, the knowledge. We just focusing on the through that the ICT, and then the giving that the project. And if we do this one, and then still it is going on, and then one important thing, what happened here, project works are included as that the one of the part of the curriculum. This one is the very much important topic happen in our school, and it is going on still.
Okay. Please, can you conclude?
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay. Okay, so you've had an interesting presentation by Ms. Anju Lama. Obviously, there's lots of literature based on project-based teaching and learning. And one of the central things that it focuses on is edutainment or infotainment, because usually when you learn English, it could be rather dry, because basically you learn lots of, basic grammar, and then that could be, and if the teacher is not doesn't teach in an interesting manner, then it could be really dry. And when you are dealing with young minds, obviously you need to sustain their interest. So project-based teaching and learning involve edutainment, meaning you've got the educational value and at the same time entertainment value. And then again, if it's infotainment, again information and the entertainment. But if it's purely entertainment, then obviously students won't learn. So that info or edu part needs to be there. And if you look at the success of Sesame Street and the ripple effect of Sesame Street that's been adopted around the world, you'll see that they use that concept of edutainment to teach. So this project-based learning obviously is very important. Furthermore, you need to keep one thing in mind. ICT or technology doesn't always mean better. But the thing is, what technology has allowed in this case is that to travel beyond the four walls of the classroom. That means you go into the virtual world. Now, if you want to physically go into the virtual world, you need visa, you need passport, you need money, you need lots of things. But technology allows you to go anywhere. I mean, right now, for instance, I mean, we are in different parts of the world. We are defying the time-space continuum. Obviously, the time is weird for people in North America or Europe right now, but still, you're defying that. And only the connection, the internet connection, is allowing you to do this. So in her case, obviously, she has been able to do that. And let me give you a little bit background. Initially, she was not tech savvy because the British Council, actually, British Council Nepal wrote an article on her titled Challenging Learning Attitudes and Learning Cultures. So here they mentioned that Miss Anju Lama was in the very beginning, she had limited prior knowledge of ICT. She struggled to work together in teams and prepare for presentations. Since her school joined the program and she was trained in computer courses, basic skills like making slides, writing emails, have made her work as a leader easier. She is also better at integrating collaborations into school activities after receiving her training. So initially she was a novice in terms of ICT, but after being trained and receiving that knowledge, she has done quite a lot from her remote village in that sense. So this is very important because we usually talk about facilities in the urban context when we don't reach out to people in the remote places, but they also need access to the rest of the world. And ICT allows you to do that and make it interesting by involving project-based teaching and learning as well. So with that, I would like to invite questions for Ms. Anju Lama. If you have any questions, you may ask her. We've got around maybe 7 minutes, 6 to 7 minutes for question and answer session.
I think, shall I begin? I mean, very brief question.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Anju ma'am, congratulations at first, like for, let's say, implementing ISA project in such a way, like I can see you have done quite a lot of work. So, and your wonderful presentation as well.
Thank you.
Now my
Thank you so
question
much,
is,
sir.
I could see their ISA project with the support of British Council, you could do quite a lot. But now my question is, I'm also considering other colleagues in mind. Is it also possible for other colleagues to initiate such project individually? For example, if so,
Sure,
then
sir.
what are the projects? Number one.
Yes.
And
Sure,
number two, if they want to, get connected to British Council and bring ISA project even at their workplace, what could be the strategy, by the way? Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Actually, I already told here this project work we did 2016 and 17. We did this project till 2019. And right now, 20 and 21st, we are still doing this kind of a project work. But right now, we have not involved in that the British Councils. Even though out of the British Council, we are doing our own. It means that right now, British Council is not supporting us doing project works, even though they have not supported, but we are searching the countries and collaborating with the students on the different kinds of themes, zero waste program, or let's say the different kinds of like animal around us. These kind of activities we have been doing nowadays. And that one is, I have to say, this year and the last year, we have not registered in that the ISA program, but we are going on. And then another thing is that, yes, of course, other countries, schools also, they can join or they can register for this ISA, that the British Council program. And if they do not have this kind of access, of course, this one is the access, there is the link you can find. But even though not through that, the one individually, if you want to do, then it is possible. You can do the project work individually without being say that the joining with that the British Council. If you want to do these kind of activities, then that this one is also possible here.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions for Ms. Anju Lama?
I can see Ram sir has raised his hand. So
Yeah. Right. Actually, the questions goes in the same line as you have asked, but I was thinking maybe if others have any questions, I would withdraw, but then I don't see any other questions, so I might go ahead and ask. Is that okay, Shariar?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Yeah. Again, thank you very much for a very interesting presentations, and it's a very noble initiative, I think, which goes in a long way in terms of making a contribution to the development of English language proficiency in the students. So I do commend you on that. If I can speak on behalf of, let's say, new teachers, the question I would have in my mind is, how do I go about developing a project like this if I am a new teacher and starting a new, let's say, starting a press in a new schools? How do I go about developing the project? How do I go about finding sponsors? I heard that you said that you had some sponsors initially, but now they are no longer contributing to your project. So how do you sustain it? For I see that it's a long-term project. So how do you sustain it? So that's my question, Anjuji.
Okay, thank you so much, sir, for the question. Actually, when I joined or I started these kind of activities, at that time I was also very new one, and I have already I went there in Gyanodaya Secondary School, Kalanki, in 2072. 72 Paush, that one is English date, I think 2015. And then I started doing this kind of ISA activities from 2016. So at that time I was also very new. I did not know that how to prepare these kind of action plans and then the activities. And then especially British Council, what actually they did to me, only they just guided me that how to make action plans, and then that the project works, how to do that the activities, only that on that. And other activities we did in our schools, that the one ISA member group I prepared there. From that, the group of the teachers and myself as a coordinator, I just coordinated the teachers to do the different kinds of activities. They just guided me or guided us that how can we go through that the activities, and then making action plan. Just they guided us, and then we just did whatever they guided us here. And as new teacher there, so I did these kind of activities. If anyone new teacher wants to do these kind of activities right now, then of course they will be also guided from that the British Council. And then one more thing I would like to say here, even though does not guide here for you, then first of all we can make here the action plan, that what kind of activities we can do in our classroom school. I'm not talking about only your classroom, I'm just talking about the whole school. How can we involve with the students in a different kinds of activities, so we can make a action plan. First thing is that we have to make a way that how we can go through that the activities. So action plan, and then through that action plan we can do the different kind of activities. But I'm sure that one thing, of single person cannot do these kind of activities. We need support from your teachers, your staffs, and then that's why we have to make that the one bond of that the teachers, that who are interested to do this kind of activities. So first of all you have to let's say that you have to make that the one team, the creative and energetic team that they also want to do this kind of activities. And then through your action plan, you can do any kind of a project works, whatever you are thinking. I think so. And I also did the same thing. That's why I'm just sharing my experience now, because I was that time very much new one. I did not know any kind of a thing how to do, but slowly, I learned to do this kind of activities. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, we can have one last question, maybe.
Okay.
Anyone else?
Shall I ask a quick question then?
Go ahead.
I'm just wondering, like, how you identify the schools to collaborate with, and also, like, how do you select your students? Like, because I know that your school is a very big school, and and it is one of the best schools in Kathmandu. I know the school very well. So that's why I'm just wondering, like, because it's a very big school, how do you select students, and also, like, how you identify? How do you identify schools, other schools? From Nepal and from
Okay.
outside.
Okay. Thank you so much for the question. Actually, my school is very much big one, especially with the number of the students, not with that the infrastructures. With the number of the students, it's very big, around 3,000. Right now, more than 3,000 students are there. And then how I selected my students, actually, first of all, I prepared the action plan. And according to the action plan with the title, which title is especially used with that the which level of the students. For example, right now in my presentation, that one, there is one personal hygiene title. And especially I chose for the personal hygiene for class 1 to 5. Why? Because that class is the basic class, and then from that class we can teach that the how to maintain that the person. So like this, from class 1 to class 5, all the students are selected for the title. According to the title, class is also selected. For this year, we have been, that one is about the insurance, that they keeping that the insurance, that the hygiene, how we can maintain that the insurance hygiene. And for this topic, what we did here, from class 6 to class 10 students, especially that period of that time of the students. So we selected the students from class 6 to class 10. And then all the teachers, class teachers, were just asked to select the students from their classrooms. So I requested the class teachers as well, because I already told here team is needed here. Single me myself cannot do this one alone here. That's why I asked the help of the class teachers. And then another question for that, the selecting, or let's say choosing that or asking for the requesting for the other countries, the schools. For that one, we have one, British Council has provided one link for us. That link is especially, or let's say a kind of a platform where lots of the countries schools are also searching for the same kind of a project work there. And they are also demanding that we also want to do on this topic, if you are interested. So they also put that their questions or their demand for that on the title. They also demand their title. And if our title and their titles are matched, then we just send the email to that schools that we are very much interested to do the collaboration with your school and then students on this topic. And then if our action plan, their action plan and our action plans are very much equal with that, or let's say similar with that on the topic, then we start to do the collaborations from that the platform. And now that time in 2016-17, we got only email. Through that the email we collaborated. But now what here there is that the in a messenger group, also in a Facebook, also there is a ISA group is created there. And through that that Facebook, right now we easily find out that any kind of countries, if they are just demanding for the countries doing any kind of a project work, then they just keep they drop their request. So, and interested, then we say yes, and then we start to do the collaborations. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Anju. So
Thank
we've
you so
run
much.
out of time. So if you want to continue the conversation, you can do that on Edmodo, or else you can also get in touch with her. She has provided her email in the contact list as well. So right now, I would like to hand over the session to the organizers.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, everyone.
Okay.
Thank you, Sariar and Anju ma'am as well. Now, the second presenter of today's session is Nausinasan from Bangladesh. She is involved in the English micro scholarship access program, which we have in Nepal as well, and she is known as an access teacher. Little bit about her: she has graduated from East West University, Bangladesh, and also did her second master's in ELT from Presidency University. Our areas of interest are teacher education, psycholinguistics, feminism, sociolinguistics, and diaspora literature. She has worked in several English medium schools in Bangladesh and also worked as a teaching assistant in East West University. At present, she is working at Language Proficiency Center, Dhaka, as an access teacher. So now for this session, I would like to request Gopal Basyal sir from Nepal to chair our session. And again, just a little bit about timing, like you will get 20 minutes time and 10 minutes question answer at the end. So over to you. And Gopal sir, again, I would like to request you to chair the session. Thank you. No scene, so you can, yeah. Do you want Saifa to share a slider? You would like to, I guess you are muted, so could you unmute there first? Let me ask you to unmute then. You were requesting me earlier.
Yes, now okay.
Now, yeah.
May I ask Saifa Miss to please share the slides?
Sure.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay,
Saifa, are you sharing the slides? Yeah. Okay.
thank you.
You can see the slides, right?
Yes. So
Okay, all right.
should I start?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
I'm involved in the English Access Micro Scholarship Program, as you've already heard. So my students are from the underprivileged background, like madrasa and schools. So they are not very privileged and they have a lot of difficulties in learning English. So this program is very much important for them and challenging them. And they want to learn English, and they come here to learn English. Previously, because of their background, they were not very much confident in learning English. But as time went by, I saw a gradual development in them in learning English, because they were confident and more interested in learning English because they were very much interested to do so. So next slide, please. Okay. So one day I wanted to teach them descriptive writing. So what I did was, I always start my class with warm-up activities, because I feel that warm-up activity motivates the students and they feel very much encouraged to do the class. So one day when I wanted to teach them descriptive writing, I asked all the students who wanted to do the class, and I gave them a piece of writing, a piece of drawing in a piece of paper, and asked one of the students to go out of the class for a minute. And then when I asked the student to come back, she was asked to, the other students had to describe her the picture I gave to her, which I gave to other students, and they had to describe the picture to and she had to draw the picture on board. And this activity was very much interested, and they all had fun in the activity, because as time went by, it was fun and encouraging that they learned many new things in the class. And so I could see that they were highly motivated to do this class and to do this activity, and they were fun. They had fun because they did not believe that language activity and language class can be fun, and it can be done with very, very different, and they can be very much, it can be different, like not like the traditional classes like they have in schools or madrasas. So it is very fun and encouraging for them. So after that, after the students were talked after the students described the picture to her, and after the girl finished the drawing, and they finished the drawing, then the whole picture was shown to her, and they compared what they have drawn, the picture, what the girl has drawn the picture and the actual picture. So it was very similar. So in this way, they could learn the descriptive writing. They could learn how a language can be writing can be taught through descriptive writing, descriptive language, and it was fun for them. What went well? Well, I guess it was fun for them because it was very encouraging. Previously, they were very much scared to do the class, to do language, to learn English because of their background, because of the knowledge of English. In school, they did not learn English very competitively, very really, but in the access classes, it was different. We tend to teach them in a communicative way. So it was very fun and entertaining for them. And they after that class, they were more interested to learn English and more encouraged to do the class as well. They were highly motivated to do the class. What was the signs of success? Well, I could see that as time went by, they were very much encouraged to learn English. They were highly in the skills developed. All the four skills are developed, and they were highly encouraged, and they were highly interested to learn what they were doing. Well, as a teacher, I have to stick to the plan that I have to make them motivated and encouraged to learn English. I have to make them feel comfortable in learning English and feel that it is not a scary language. They can learn English in a very different way, in a fun-filled manner. So it was very important for them to learn in the way that I was teaching them. So it was good for them, and they were their vision of learning English changed from what they've been learning in the schools or madrasas. So it was fun for them and a new thing for them. They could learn and they could face the world, that they can learn English in a different way. So it was like that. For them, I feel that it was very good for them to learn English, because as English is a very different language, and difficult language, especially for them because of their background. So I had to make them constantly encouraged and motivated to learn English the way they wanted to learn. So it was very fun and entertaining. So they were not scared at all for learning English at the end of the class, because they were very much highly encouraged. From then onwards, they were willing to do the class, which was very important. And previously, they did not want to utter any, did not want to utter any words in English when they were admitted in the program, because they were scared to do so. But as time went by, I felt there was a gradual development in them, and because of the way we taught English to them, and this created this made a big difference to them in learning of English. So I think it was very good and encouraging for them, and it was fun for them, and they develop and gradually developed themselves in the way. So I think it was better for them. As a teacher, it was my duty and responsibility to bring them to the teaching, to bring them to yeah, to make them feel comfortable in learning in classroom. At the same time, I also had to think that my learning outcomes and teaching outcomes were met. So I had to keep a balance between all those, and moreover, it was very great fun in learning the way they did, and I also had fun in learning and teaching them because I could see the gradual development in learning English. So I felt a sense of relief that at least I could do a good job because I had earned my teaching objectives, and they also learned on the learning objectives. So it was fun for them. So, so in conclusion, I believe that learning English can be fun because of the different techniques we use in communicatory language teaching, and it can be good and interesting. Because traditional language classes can be boring to many people, but in CLT approach, it can be fun and different because as the way we have been teaching English to students in the access classes. And that's all from me.
So, my turn, Salim sir.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. So, thank you so much, Nasim. Yeah, did I spell correctly?
Yes, it's right.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, and it's a very good example of encouraging students to learn in their own way. So I liked the activity you practiced with the students, and then that activity was completely helpful to the learners to write something. And this is very interesting that this leading students outside the classroom, taking students outside the classroom, and then getting the or translating that real life context into the writing in the text. So that is a very creative activity, and also this reduces some sort of anxiety that most of the students have in writing, right? So very often people say writing is a very difficult task, and so some sort of that, as you usually use that word, is scary, right? So that sort of stressful job uh, uh, it is taken as a kind of a stressful job. Writing is taken as a stressful job, but your effort avoided that stress, avoided that anxiety, and some sort of emotionally the students are motivated. They learned writing in a very entertaining way. It's a kind of fun. So I think they are just roaming around the environment, just walking outside. But when they come back to the classroom and then they start describing that situation, then they start using the language. So this kind of very what activity based that entertaining activity, this is really useful, and it is age specific as well. And then I know this micro scholarship program, so you are doing the job for the real students, real needy students who actually need the teachers, and this kind of activities will be really helpful for them to learn English better. Just would be happy, much happier if you had shared one more activity so that you could consume all 20 minutes. You took almost 10 minutes, And if you had shared one more activity, then fine. So now to the audience. So I'd like to invite you all who were present here. Any queries, any comments to Nosen, please?
Ifat has raised her hand, so probably Gopal sir. Ifat.
Yes, yeah, please. Ifat, yeah, you can unmute and yes.
Noshin ma'am, you are amazing. Thank you for sharing your success stories. Ma'am, I would like to know the level of your learners. I mean, are they primary students or secondary level students? Ma'am, you need to unmute yourself.
No, you need to unmute first. Yeah, it's done now.
Is it okay? They are from secondary level students and they are mostly from madrasa level.
Okay, madrasa level. And ma'am, have
Yes,
you
mixed
done any?
madrasa and school. They are more, but focus is on madrasa level most.
Okay,
Because
and ma'am, what about?
it's from underprivileged students. The program is for underprivileged students.
Okay, and ma'am, what about feedback? Have you thought about feedback?
They were very much interested. They were highly motivated to do the class. They, from that onwards, their conception of learning English changed. Previously, they were scared to do English classes in the schools, but after they came here, they did change their mindset about learning English because they thought that now English can be learned in a fun-filled way using activities like drawings and role play, communicative activities like these. So it's really fun.
Okay.
Enjoyed it a lot.
Ma'am, then you are Tagore. You are Tagore at madrasa level.
Okay, I have one question, simple question. How many students were involved in this program and what percentage were male and female?
And 20 students in each batch, in each class, sorry.
Okay.
So 10 students, 10 girls and 10 boys.
50-50. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So, Professor Giri, sir, please, you can unmute and put your question. Yeah, Ram, sir, please.
Okay, who is going first? There are two hands.
Yes, she has already done, sir.
Oh, okay, all right. Thank you, Noshin. It was a wonderful presentation. And when I was training to become a teacher, my trainer told me to bring the world into the classroom. And I didn't understand what he was saying then. But in the course of my practice, I got it. And that's what you are doing. You are bringing the world into the classroom. The question I'm asking is, and probably that could be in everybody's mind, how much time do you spend on preparing for a lesson when you have to organize or plan for all these activities?
Well, I planned before the class, well, before the day. So maybe one day I plan what I want to do in the next class. So I plan half an hour, 1 hour. So I decide what I want to do, and then I go about how to organize things. Because I know what they want, what they need, and what they will like. Because I think needs analysis is very important. If the students do not like what I'm teaching them, then it's not worth it.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Noshin.
Any more queries, please?
And just a follow up of Ram sir's question and your answer. Yeah, as you said, like you will plan your lesson beforehand. And I'm just wondering now, like maybe you will also revise your plan after your session. Like do you also evaluate like, okay, in my class today, like this was very, very good, and but this part was not good. My students didn't enjoy this part. So based on that, do you also revise your plan for the next day or maybe for
I'm
the next lesson? Do you also reflect on your own practice sometimes? I mean, in
sometimes I
that way.
do,
Okay.
sometimes, but not always.
Okay.
Because but it must be done. I believe that it must be done.
Hmm. Okay, good.
It's a good idea to do, but I don't do it regularly. So
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Gopal sir, Sariar has raised hand.
Yeah, please, Saria, please.
Okay.
Just checking chat. Saria, yeah.
Yes, hold on. Yeah. Yeah, Noshin,
yes,
thank
sir.
you. Thank you for your interesting presentation. Yeah, I mean, I need to mention that Noshin was one of our students from East West University, so I've known her for quite a long time. I was just wondering, since your students are from madrasa background, uh, the approach that you used to teach, was there any, did you face any resistance from their parents or anything? For instance, I mean, in madrasas, people tend to memorize, and it's a one way of one direction of teaching. Basically, what the teacher knows everything and the students know nothing in that sense. And here you've got an interactive situation, and you're giving students an opportunity to say things, to do things. You're using drawing. So was there any resistance from the parents, regarding your teaching methodology?
No, not at all. In fact, the students and the teacher and the parents are very much happy with the way we teach. So it was very entertaining and enjoyable to them, and they always wanted to do the class the way we teach, because the way we teach is very different from the way they've learned English at the schools or madrasas. So it's very sharp contrast. So we teach students by various activities and role plays and all that, but they had fun in doing all that. And students and their parents were always welcome, and they were always encouraging encourage us to work the way we wanted to do. We wanted to.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
So I think the queries, there's no more query. Is there any more? So one more little query to Nasin ma'am. So do you have all 6-day classes or any 4 days or 5 days, 6 days? How many
No,
days a week?
it's a part-time job, like 3-4 days in a week. So
Okay, to you as a teacher, but to the students, how many days
students,
for the students? For the
students is
students,
up.
how many?
It depends on the class numbers, like 3-4 days, and in each batch they have 2 weeks class.
Yeah.
2 days class in a week. So it depends.
Okay. So I think in our access classes, there are 4 days. Yeah, 17. No? Yeah, I think we have 4 days a week. Anyway, so thank you so much for your presentation as well as responding the queries. And thank you all participants for taking part in the question and answer session as well. So now I'd like to hand over this forum to the organizers, please. Thank you so much, everybody.
Saraswati ma'am.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you so much, Gopal sir, as well as Sariar sir, for chairing the sessions today. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for the presenters. Now this is our break time. We are going to have this 10 minutes break, but in this break we want to collect your queries or questions around the booklet that we are going to publish. I mean, we are going to collect your stories and publish it in a book form. So we've received like a few queries, but I don't think we can answer all of your queries right now because we haven't decided around that. So we are planning to have a meeting on Saturday. Next Saturday, and then we will come back to you with our answers to your queries. So yes, like maybe, yes, we have received like 3 queries right now. The first one is like, what is that question? Yeah, the first one, I think Rejwana ma'am, it's the question from Rejwana ma'am. What is the approximate deadline for the first submission? We haven't decided around that, so we'll come back to you maybe next week. The second question is, do I have to religiously follow my presentation topic for the article as well, or can I make some changes? I think you can, but yes, we will, yeah, for this also, yes. Yeah, but definitely I think here we can say that, yes, you can modify your presentation topic or whatever you say during your presentation. I think you can modify that. And third query, I think it's from Sarier sir, whether it will be edited or peer reviewed. We are not very sure around peer reviewed, but yes, definitely we will edit the book. So yes, now, yes, if you have any other questions or queries, please do let us know.
Yeah,
Yes.
we have another question in the chat channel. What is the deadline for submitting the story?
Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah, we have already received that. Yes, I think we have to discuss in our team, and then yeah, we'll come back to you with our answer.
I would say on behalf of the organizers, I would say this, like we will all try to be as flexible as possible as well. In a sense, flexibility here in a sense, because we are working in different time zones, again, volunteering this way. So definitely will be flexible, but it's also good to have a kind of, deadline, which will always push us to work on time. So yeah.
Yeah. I think another question was regarding the template of the sample, and Sagunji has already shared a sample in the chat channel. So please click on that link if you want to have a look at the sample of the story.
Thank you, Ram sir. And again, a quick note here, because this journey is entirely new. See, as of now, I think there is no, to me actually, there is no as such story written, focusing on success story that way. So it will be our novel voice. So we may not find the exact sample that will, clearly show the format of, writing success story. So we'll also see the flexibility. But again, as a sample, as Ram sir mentioned, like we shared our previous work, which is ER stories, it's written by Nepalese teachers. So yeah, that will help at least a little bit.
Yeah, I think there is a question.
Sahariar wants to know who will be the potential publishers.
Shall I chip in again? So
yes, please.
So we will definitely we will approach. Again, what happens generally is once we make a compilation, once we compile and once we create a kind of neat volume to present, we'll approach to some of the potential. Again, it can be British Council or local teacher organizations and so on. We'll try to approach them to publish. This will be an e-copy. These days e-copy has massive demand as well, because it can be read and then accessed by it can be read by teachers around the world. So we'll approach that way. But I think at this point we would say, like, we will source then, right, rather than deciding it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A couple of more questions in the chat channel, please. We have Tirthraj Dungana sir asking you a question, and then we have Kashira sir asking a question.
Yeah, shall we start with Tirthraj sir's question? What sort of success story are acceptable? Can the success story prepared from NGOs and their interventions to improve pedagogical practices we submitted. Yeah, here, like, yes, we are collecting personal, individual stories, and particularly from those, from the presenters in our success story forum. Like, we have 25 presenters here in the success story forum, and we are collecting their success stories, at individual level, not from NGOs and INGOs.
At the same time, sorry, Saraswati, I'm just trying to link and add to your comments. At the same time, if you mean, Tirtharaj, sorry, if you mean like, the intervention prepared by INGO or NGO, and you are adapting, or you are adapting it to the local context, but then that would be great. For example, like Nosin, I'll give you the example of Nosin. Nosin as an access teacher, I think she is an access teacher, let's say access teacher, which is under a particular NGO or INGO there, right? NGO definitely should be NGO. Like we in Nepal, Nepal English Language Teachers Association, it's NGO that runs the access program. So, and we develop interventions sometimes as well, and teachers also adapt, so teachers also implement. If you are talking of such intervention to improve pedagogical practices, then Saraswati ma'am, I think in that case, Tirtha sir can submit, right? So yeah, again, this is in, let's say, if you are talking of that kind of intervention.
Yeah, your involvement in that project, like in the first presentation, Anju ma'am was talking about, the activities they have been conducting in their school, but she is very much involved in, with that activity. So she is sharing her stories here. So something like that. Yes, if you are connected to that kind of intervention, but here would love to listen to your stories, how you are involved with that intervention program, and how you think around that. So yes, definitely, if you present in that way, but not, not as like we are not interested in like receiving stories from NGOs, from their behalf. So not from that, but yes, definitely I agree with Sagunji. Yeah.
And Kasi sir, yeah, interestingly, yeah, now see, this is what the collaboration, the product of collaboration, right? Kasi sir, if you think Sense Braille can publish our publication, then definitely that would be, the big achievement. Yeah.
I hope so. I hope so. I don't disagree in such things,
Thank you, Kasi sir. And just to let everyone know, Kasi sir is the author of one of the publications from Sense Braille, right? Could you, Kasi sir, I think you can talk a little bit. Again, it's also kind of,
yes. That is itself a success story, actually. The publication itself is a success story to me now. So yeah, that is the Sense Braille publication. So yeah, this is not the promotion as, because I had already signed contract with the publisher. No problem. So they are doing the marketing. Now I don't do it now. Anyway, but I can ask them as one of their successful writers I belong to. And if you allow me, I don't know why I am here, but like, I'm so fortunate to be here in this team, because sometimes I just chip in, like sometimes I get messages from Dr. Giri, sometimes Sagunji, sometimes Gopal sir, someone just message me and I get the message, I join here like that. So it's a good opportunity. We can work together. So if you want my success story, it's more than teaching, learning. It's about publishing success story. When I was doing my PhD at Murdoch University in Australia, I came to, like, I encountered one of the interviews. You have heard of that person, Orhan Pamuk, right? Who wrote these books. My Name is Raid in Istanbul, right? You must have read this man, right? He's the Nobel Prize winner. I went through his Nobel Prize kind of speech, and that was so motivational. I thought, like, hey, look, why not me? If this man can win the Nobel Prize, at least I can be published in international scenario. So I proposed with those international publisher. I wrote the proposal, and they accepted my, after a couple of kind of interactions, they accepted my proposal. Now I am with the book, and I can happily claim that I am one of the theorists of this transformative education. And this is exactly what you have been doing, because everything you have been sharing, that comes under my theory, transformative education,
Okay.
So I think I can link you with that group and I can tell them, look, what I have theorized, you have been asking with me, what is the practice? And now here is the practice in Nepal, in Bangladesh, in the UK, and in Australia, you see. And then what
Yeah.
better opportunity I want than this? So I can happily do it.
Great then. So for the yes, thank you for sharing all these things. So probably to develop proposal, as let's say Ramsar is also highly experienced in this regard. For example, drafting proposal and sending to the because he's also the edited what do you call the editor as well, and he has edited some
Editor in chief, my chief.
No, editor in chief is definitely journal.
Yeah.
I mean, I was also thinking of Springer. So anyways, like we will come to you to while drafting a proposal.
No problem.
For we'll first have a kind of group meeting, have a chat, and then we'll come to you. Yes, thanks for sharing this.
Yeah.
I think it's a lovely insight.
Include me. I am, whenever I'm happy, I'm free, I'm happy to contribute. One. Next one is the success story kind of model you have been talking about. I have a couple of in my book. I can read in the next meeting, maybe, if you want me to. And that can encourage people like, well, this simple thing can be a good story. So that's how they published. You see, the story was very simple before it was published. Now it is published and the story is it's extraordinary now.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you so much, Kasi sir, and thank you so much, all of you,
pleasure,
considering our time limitation. So I think we have to move to our next
I know.
presentation. But before that, let me just read one of the questions from Ganesh sir. So like, can we prepare a success story about someone who started teaching career from very grassroots level and became a good ELT personality in rural setting? That's a very good idea, Ganesh sir. Actually, we are very much interested in receiving such kind of stories. Let's do that. So, yeah, please do come back to us. Please do drop email. So we hope that we can answer your questions. Maybe we will come with your answers next week. So please do drop your emails to our group. Thank you so much. So, Saifa, so let's start our third sharing session.
Sure, ma'am. So now our presenter is Prateep Bashkota. The title of his presentation is Experience in Nepal, ELT Makes Difference. He is an experienced ELT teacher and involved in different participatory user experience studies. He is also a scholar and researcher at the School of Education, Kathmandu University. In his career, his success was to get honorable certificates from the US Embassy, USDE, COE, LOC, British Council, IATFL, and then TESOL. So I would like to invite Prateep Bashkota sir for the presentation. But before that, I would like to invite Nusrat Guljar to chair the session.
Thank you, Saifa madam. I'm sure Mr. Prateep is here and he can start his presentation.
Okay, may I, ma'am?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, greetings, everyone. My name is Prateep Bashkota. I'm from Nepal. So, shall I share my screen?
Yeah.
So is it visible, everyone?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Greetings, everyone. My name is Prateep Bashkota. This is the experience. I just kept a few of my experiences that I got, that I was the beginner. I'm still a beginner and I'm still learning. I'm still in learning phase. So I just try to copy my seniors. First of all, I would like to thank to my grandfather who just opened got one school in village, and then he just shared about his experiences that when he got it SLC, at the time they used to say metric pass, And for getting the English courses and the Sanskrit courses, he need to take signatures from the Rana rulers. At the time, he got the sign from the late I think so. At the time, he was the prime late Mohan Samsher Jangabahadur Rana, and he used to say that, okay, without any struggles, you cannot do any success. So every day and every seconds, there peoples are struggling to upgrading ahead. So so my focal points will remains on few numbers, just like I just kept few of the numbers like up to 12. So the first things, it comes from the educational attainment and the society. As long as I was raised in western regions of Nepal, so I get chance to learn from the homeschooling as my parents were from Kathmandu, and then they just try to convert the children through the English school. We get chance in home because at that moment there's no Montessori and kindergarten school. Later on, at the years of 4 years of age, I just joined one boarding school. That's from started from the nursery, and suddenly they just upgraded us to UKG type of thing. And from the career of the from the career of the 5 to 10 students, simple school, I started my career. I started my schooling. So secondly, there's a learning English and the learning through English, because later on I realized that English, I cannot remove this English, because as from 2014 to 2019, I was a Spanish language teacher in one of the boarding school in Kathmandu. But when I go to that class, I used to take the English as a medium. But later on, I found that the kids cannot understand those language translations, and then I need to teach in Nepali language, and there's so many problems I need to face when I share those problems with the school principal and then director. Director usually director usually at meetings he usually at monthly meetings, and then used to say that, okay, if we can convert it into digitalized classroom, then obviously that will support to everyone, every teachers. So the English and the role of ICT, it makes sense, because the problems with the school is wherever we go, because if there is some problems in the ICT, then the students feel bored, because learning from the textbook is not only the thing, but practical knowledge and the creative skills need to be given to the kids. So in the monolingual and the bilingual, so I need to teach to all the students who come from the rural areas to from the and the urban areas also, because there's a language differences, because they come from different ethnic background, and they used to talk another language in their home, and then when they come to school, they used to have the compulsory English language. But when they when they come in my classroom, because they used to talk in 2 to 3 different languages, and then I need to find it, okay, if there are some errors or not. But it was quite challenging, but it was the interesting classroom. According to the divergent thinking skills, I found that I used to use so many chart papers and other skills. Like I used to take examples from the ma'am, Nashreen ma'am and other ma'am, because they were sharing that ISA project and other things. So the school teachers also supported me, because it was the language classroom. So I found that, okay, I was working as a part-time teacher, not the full-time teacher. So there's a quite differences between teaching school kids and the teaching bachelor students. So while teaching bachelor students, I need to convert my teaching skills, and then there's a creative students in the bachelor students, but in the for teaching the kids, there's a quite differences, because as I found that the kids feel bored, because if I give a long speech, then obviously they feel bored, and then if I add some content like playing through the teaching skills, and then they feel quite easy to understand the content. So the passions for teaching, because is it obviously comes from when I completed my SLC at 2005 So when I joined one of the school, because there's a lack of teachers, and then I enter school from the computer science teaching. So I used to play with all the computers. So it was quite interesting to me. And then I found that, okay, those kind of presenting the slides and then giving interactive learning in the classroom makes sense. And I just changed my habit of the teaching from the English skills. So in the interactive teaching and learning, obviously, it was bound with the progressive education, and that's a totally change. So teaching to the young learners as really, because if the teachers don't know about the ICT skills and other things, then it will be the main problem while you enter in the classroom. So audio visuals is the best part, that if the hall or the, sorry, if the auditorium or the classroom is well equipped with the ICT, like projectors or touchboard or anything else. The first thing is that, okay, when I was at the when I was working in college as a supervisor in 2012, I did one research in the touchboard, because there was no interactive board in the Kathmandu, and there's the organization in closer to Kathmandu Darbari Square. So they called me, and our college was the first college to launch two board, and then we just did some research. And at that moment, I found that the Microsoft Office, Microsoft operating software, it was upgraded after the Microsoft 7. So we used to work over there full day and full night to find that, okay, if the operating software will work in Nepal or not. Then we found that obviously that works. And after that project, after that project, the college and other schools used to add interactive board in their classroom. So research on teachers and teaching, as usually, if I am the teachers, obviously I need to do some research. I am the followers of seniors too, as usually articles and the journals, obviously we need to follow it, because we can find the upgraded one. And then a few colleagues of the Kathmandu University used to do that. And then and we used to have some tea talk. Obviously we used to share our talks on canteen also. So that usually makes sense. And the anthology of the methodology, because I used to talk with my professors, and then I used to share so many problems, and they didn't feel they did not say that, okay, you have so many problems, but they used to guide me. And then obviously that usually makes sense. So in the second language teacher education, so obviously I did few work, but it was in intermediate level. But I think obviously if I can upgrade in this part, obviously I can upgrade my step. So what do I believe is, there's the teachers are the pillars of school, obviously, because the strengths are the bricks. If you want to make the foundation, so we need to find everything, because administrations to the school staffs. And because if there is some problems, or if there are some problems, then obviously there is the lackings of so many things. So I do have one question, because if I can get this on the chat box, obviously I'll read it on. Do you believe the same thing, or you have different opinion in my perspective? Because every people's have their different perspective. So if you want to make one school, so do you need to find, or do you will you find some problems to make one schools, or you just keep it on, okay, let's is running, so why we need to find it? Do you think so? So it's my personal belief. So it's a simple questions for y'all. Mm. So while I was at the master's level, I was too talkative, and then I once my professor who used to teach me theory, critical theory. So he used to give best examples. So I found that if I need to learn about the storm, obviously researchers need to walk outside their home and find and feel and learn it. Because need to, if you just say about the thunder, then you need to see what the thunders look like, because you need to take that snap if you can. Then only you can say that, okay, that's the problem, or that's the thing that we can solve it, or we feel that we think that, okay, if we need to learn new things, obviously we need to go to the field. So in more precise, so obviously this is the questions for all the members over here. So what is your positioning in role? So do you think that are you the model in the education group, or you are just a beginner, or you think that okay, I am a good in the school or in college? So or do you think okay, daily so adding some tasks may entertain juniors as a model, or is there anything upgraded in the new? So I added, okay, I added some mathematical thing because I found that, okay, without measuring anything, we cannot find nothing. So there's a X, Y, and Z system because I usually do these things while I become the free. And I used to do some basic type of research while I enter in the classroom. So normally I found that, okay, if I am entering in that classroom, so where I will keep in this classroom, because shall I need to talk with the students that they are facing problems, or shall I need to think that okay, if I'm a teacher, so I just used to go to the book, I just go with the books and I just jot down in the whiteboard, and then that's it, and I just give them homework, and is that okay for me? But normally I used to take their suggestions, and even though that suggestion obviously helped me, because few of my students nowadays they are in the British Army. So they have been selected in the British Army, and they told me that okay, I need few of the recommendations from the school, and then I just make some talk with principals, and they are happy to get that, because now those guys, those students who were too weak in our courses, so in the compulsory courses, now they are attending the engineering science courses in UK. So that's a good thing for them, because if we can motivate them, obviously that make plus point for them as well as to us also. So according to the works, I used to say that, okay, think, decide, and speak. Obviously, select yourself. Motivation is the first key for studying out, because the motivate teachers is the motivator for every student. So as operating ahead, so we are the, if we are doing some new things, obviously we become a researcher as usual. We are beginner, intermediate, or advanced, but we are learning so many things. Each second we are learning new things. Every day we are learning new things. In the pandemic, obviously peoples are using their own skills to save their save the humankind, because today is the 18th day I faced a pandemic. Sorry, I became the positive of the corona, and all my parents and my relatives became positive. And then we found our new things how to survive in this pandemic, because we don't have any vaccinated over here. So nowadays the government are planning to give vaccinations. So obviously, and this is the day, because at the early week I was unable to take that. I was unable to stand like this, because at that moment I was just trying to listen my friends, my colleagues presentations. And then obviously if we can do some research, because we can find some problems, obviously the flashback support us. So obviously that will be the best example that you need to try it yourself. And placing and arranging ELT in Korea, because English always comes at the first, because I don't know the other languages, so the English support me. So while selecting the field, first things we need to do arrange, and we need to think for it. Normally the second thing is all about, okay, what is right and what is wrong, because that will be the next step. We cannot go fast forward in this time, because we need to understand, we need to learn, and we need to find what is right, what is wrong. So obviously ELT in this
Mr.
language is,
Prateek, you have 5 more minutes to go.
yeah, sure, ma'am. I'm just coming to the wrap up. So there's no more slides over there. So while I was going to the international program, I found that, okay, at the France, at the Norway, and in Qatar, so there's the English language. So without English language, I cannot understand the Arabian language. So I cannot understand the Norwegian language, and then I cannot understand obviously the French language. So the English, obviously the medium of the language. So we are using the English. So the second thing is that the language obviously support us for the teaching also, sorry. animated in teaching and the part of transition, because I found that while we're learning so many things, we can duplicate our learning skills to help from the seniors. So if we can know so many things, we can change it and we can learn it and we can divert it, and obviously we can give some motivations. So there's a transitions between us, because if we can get guidance and if we can share so many things, so obviously there's a so-called learning by doing. Obviously, there's a lot of, while getting the learning by doing, the first I attend the Kathmandu University conference at Dulkel. Then after okay, I can do something. Then I started from the seminar, webinar, conference, and the forum. This forum is also too good for me because I'm learning, and I will obviously share this kind of things with the junior one. So at the pictures, I can say that, okay, if you want to keep it on the building of the class, building of the school, so what do you want to keep it from the auditorium hall to the outside the compound? So you can feel, okay, where I can keep it. So I'll just go to the next slide. So are there more questions? What you want to know is you need to go to the bright side, because obviously there's so many things and we need to find new things. So reading articles and book also obviously support us, like people are writing blogs and listening the podcast. Obviously I found that the British Council podcast, and while I was kid, the people used to say me, okay, if you are learning computer, you need to go to the podcast of the British Council, BBC, CNN, and so many things, and I just try to learn it from there. So I did the same thing. And obviously, what about you? And I think I'm on the last slide. Yeah, these are my references. I just took it from this part, and I'm it. Yeah, thank you for your patience. I will be taking your comments, suggestions, and QA. Yeah.
Thank you, Pradeep sir. It was a wonderful presentation, I would say. And I personally very much enjoyed your talk. As the first thing I would say is one of the most interesting things in your presentation was that you have tried to engage the audience in your own way. You have asked a number of questions, and those questions were very reflective for us, to ponder over and think about. So thank you for that. And as I was going through your abstract yesterday and today, I found that you have started, explaining and describing your, learning cycle, your journey as a beginner level teacher, how you started your career, and over time, how you have developed yourself through professional training, collaboration with teachers. At the same time, how you have, used available technology in your classroom context. So that's very much impressive. In today's presentation, you have beautifully arranged a number of focal points, starting from your context to, professional development strategies. And I think that the strategies that you have shared today, are very much helpful for us as practitioners. And in these testing times, we all are facing so much struggles, and we are trying to be resilient and optimistic about our strategies and plans in terms of teaching. And in these times when we get to hear and get to listen to presentations like this, it really motivates us a lot, because you're just looking into the brighter side of teaching, and you're asking us to be positive and rethink our role as a practitioner. It was very good to see the metaphor of the building, the house that you have showed us, the roof, the walls, the windows, and it was excellent the way you have explained everything, the roles of the teacher, the roles of the students, the office staff, and everything. I would say that you have used a wonderful research method in this presentation. It's like the self-reflecting method. The way you use the process of introspection. You reflect on your journey. You reflect on your ways of your intervention, and then you progress towards the success. You build on your own learning. That's the wonderful thing I would say about your overall journey as a teacher. So congratulations, and it was good to hear from you. So the floor is open now for questions.
Thank you, ma'am, for
have
good comments. Yeah, it's to appreciative, and obviously that will also support me for the next step, because there's so many things to learn, because I'm learning so many new things away. And then I found that I found that okay, there's so many seniors in this sessions also, and then I'm just trying to listen them. I'm just trying to copy them. And thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Pradeep. So if anyone would like to ask questions to Mr. Pradeep, you can go ahead.
Since nobody's asking, I will not ask a question as such. You did mention that you were a Spanish teacher, right?
Yeah, I taught basic Spanish to the grade 8 students.
Hable castellano, huh? Okay, that's fine. So where did you learn Spanish?
I got chance to learn from the institute in Kathmandu. So okay. I was supervisor at the college, and then suddenly I found that okay, if I learn extra language, because at class 3 and 4 I got chance to learn French language, and then at the and while I was at the supervisor there, I need to add BHM and BTTM in my college, because that was the IT college, and then we need to add new extra faculties. And then I found that okay, if I can learn new languages, then I can obviously get chance to teach them, and then that motivated me. and later on I got chance to teach in BTTM, and then yeah, that's it. And it was it took me 6 months to learn the basic language and the intermediate one.
Good, thank you. Now I speak Spanish.
Wow.
And French.
Yeah, I found French is quite hard language than is talking Spanish, because Spanish is quite similar with the English language, and there's a certain rules for the Spanish, but French is too tough, because I don't know.
The sound system, the pronunciation is very difficult in French, and Spanish, the sound system is very similar to our South Asian languages. Yeah. They have this.
Yes, sir. I also found that there's a quite difference in the sound, because while I speak French, I found that I need to have bass sound. It's a thick sound, and while I speak Spanish, there's a treble sound. And then yeah, that's the interesting part for the kids also, because nowadays music are obviously the Spanish mix type of music, and then students are learning Spanish music and languages easily.
Thank you.
Thank you, Amin sir. I think Ram sir has a question for Mr. Pradeep.
Thanks. Thank you very much. Thank you, Pratik, for a very stimulating presentation. Yeah, and many things to reflect on for all of us. Those reflective questions were quite interesting. The question I have is around the bilingualism, multilingualism you mentioned in your classrooms. So the question, and being a bilingual or multilingual yourself, how do you exploit the multilingualism or bilingualism resource that is available in your, how do you suggest that we should exploit the multilingual or bilingualism resource that we have available in our class?
So normally, sir, what I did is, because first thing, when obviously in the first month, I used to find all the students' introduction. I used to find it about their family background and which language they used to learn in the home. Because nowadays the students are forgetting their own cultural languages. And then when they speak in other languages, and then they used to say me everything, because I first month I used to be too familiar with the students so that I can know so many things. And then after I just motivate them in, and then I just use English and Nepali language both while teaching the language courses. Because in school, there's a difference in the college and the school, because in school people used to say that, okay, we need to teach in English language so they can understand very well. But there are so many kids, they did not understand the English language also, because for them, because we need to focus for the weak students, because we don't need to focus for the topper students. Because firstly I used to find, okay, if I change my teaching habit, because today one of the students called me about, he was mentioning me that he want to be the NBA player, basketball player in the United States. He want to go to Chicago or he want to go to California, because I was the guy to motivate him, because his interest was only in the basketball while I was in the school. And then he told me that, okay, I don't want to study those courses. And then what we did in the teacher meeting, that, okay, if the guy is interested for the basketball, then we need to find it the solution. We need to find the solution and we need to convert his habit. Then he scored low marks in mathematics and science, and then nowadays he is the topper one. So try to understand. What I feel is that, okay, we need to find the student's problem, and
Good
then
job.
obviously they will divert it into them. Sorry, sir.
Good job. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ramsar. We still have a couple of minutes, so if anyone wants to ask questions, you can go ahead.
Okay, I'll get in again. Talking about multilingualism. We all, I think Nepal has the same, Bangladesh has the same. We start with a regional language, which is not our national language. That is the L1 language, the first language. So the children are learning that until grade 6 and all, until age 6. And then they go to school and they are bombarded with two foreign languages. One is Bengali, which is foreign to them. Okay, and then is English. So this is a very serious problem. And later on, yes, without knowing their own regional language properly, they're suddenly bombarded with Bangla and everything is taught in Bangla. They don't understand Bangla and they don't understand English. I think this is not right. So the education is those who are here from Bangladesh or Nepal, they may do. I can't do anything.
Yeah, shall I ask just one quick query, Pratik sir? Yeah, that's thank you so much, Pratik sir. Yeah, it's yeah, greetings. Thank you so much for your wonderful presentation. Here I'm just asking just a quick query. Like my my son, he is in year 11, grade 11 here in the UK, and he has to learn Spanish as one of his compulsory subjects. And he's facing a lot of challenges in learning Spanish because his friends also, like most of them are from the UK itself. So he's not, he's facing a lot of challenges. That's why I'm just wondering, like, is there any, I'm suggesting him to follow like audio video materials, to find audio video materials, but he's not able to find many. he has found a few. So I'm just wondering if you have any idea around that where he can access materials for learning Spanish.
Okay, the first thing is that, okay, if he was in Nepal, obviously I compiled so many books,
Yeah.
and then obviously I do have 3 to 4 books over here because I can give him in the free. The second thing is in UK, so ma'am, you are in UK. What I do with my students is I just give them to listen music or podcast, or they just need to start from the beginner courses. And then there's applications of Duolingo, because there's one apps in the Duolingo. You know it, ma'am?
Duolingo. Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's familiar with everyone, I think so, because there's a multiple language over there, and then we can it's a good app, because I found that it's a good app. And then the second thing is that, okay, I used to talk with few of my Spanish friends, and then they used to share some materials to me. And if it is still available, I can send it to you.
Okay,
But it's a
thank you.
used data. But I think if our net and if our internet and the drive can add those more than 40 GB, then I can obviously share all the materials to you.
Okay, thank you.
And
Thank you so
if you
much,
can,
Professor.
yeah, and finally, I want to add something, because if you want to make your son to pass the language, because if he can listen some music, or if he can listen some speech, which do have some captions on it, or which do have some subtitle on it, then obviously he can understand it very well. I think so.
Yeah, thank you so much, Professor.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you for the wonderful questions, and thank you, Mr. Prateek, for your very interesting presentation, and for reminding us that we as practitioners need to be reflective and constantly evaluate our own, practice, teaching practice. So I think that's it, and let me just, ask the organizers to continue the session. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you, Nusrat. And now we move on to the fourth session, today's last session. And for this session, I'm taking you to the Midwest of Nepal, Surkhet. And I hope Amin sir would remember that, because he's been to, probably Pokhara and a little bit beyond that. So yeah, Surkhet, and where we find Kalpana Madam, Kalpana Poto. She is a faculty of English education in the Faculty of Education, Midwestern University. Kalpana ma'am has completed her MPhil degree from Kathmandu University, School of Education, and of course the main focus was English language education. She has been very experienced. She has been teaching English at all levels, actually, from primary to tertiary in the last 10 years. And during the course of her extensive experience, she has developed her interest in researching ELT issues. And needless to say that she is a life member of English Language Teachers Association of NELTA, and also an alumni of Access Teachers. So I would request here Puspa Priya Madam to chair the session, and I'm handing this to you now, Puspa Madam.
Is Puspa Priya Madam here today?
Yes, thank you so much, ma'am and Ram sir. I'm here today. So I'm here to get a chair session for the last session. And I'd like to welcome Kalpana Podal Madam, faculty member of Midwestern University. Our topic is a story from Karnali, a way to survive academically in COVID-19 pandemic. So here your ways goes now.
Good afternoon, everyone. Am I heard?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, very much. Yes, please.
So, Good afternoon and namaste from Nepal. And now I'd like to share my screen here. Yeah. Yeah, is it visible? My screen. Okay. Um, I'm going to say a story, a small story from Karnali region about how did we survive in COVID in 2020. So the main theme, the conclusion of the whole presentation is in the starter. I have divided my presentation into three parts: starter, main course, and the. So starter, the main conclusion is that I have adopted it from Hindi language. मंजिल उन्हीं को मिलती है जिसको सपने में जान पंखों से कुछ नहीं हौसले से होती है those people only get success who really put their effort even in dream and there is nothing with the wings if you don't have courage so if you want to reach in success so you should have courage to fly courage to do it. So here comes the presentation outline. I have divided my whole presentation into 4 different A's. They are situation, struggle, strategies, and success. So the situation is divided into 3 main categories: working situation, my situation as a teacher, and my student situation. Then now working situation, Karnali province, one of the remotest area of Nepal, but richest province in natural resources and other organic items. Midwestern University lies in Karnali province of Nepal, geographically remotest. Now I'm going to start the story. The university and other colleges closed due to the lockdown in March 9, 2020. Everyone was confused what to do. So respected Vice Chancellor of FAMU, Professor Dr. Nanda Bahadur Singh took initiation for conducting online class, but without any preparation, without any idea. He just thought, what if we could transform or could go to the online mode from face-to-face mode? He just requested teachers and authorities, if you can do something, start something. So some of the teachers who have little knowledge about ICT and little knowledge about the virtual learning, they started unknowingly without training or without formal information from the training, and I was the one. This is the situation of the university. Now, my position. My situation as a teacher. I have spent about 10 years in learning and sharing ELT in capital city, in Kathmandu. So the learning context and teaching context of Surkhet and Kathmandu was totally different. So-called learning methods, ideas were fit in Kathmandu, but in Surkhet, it was not working. I was thinking that how can I blame the international idea to the local idea? I was struggling with that, but now even there was no chance for working face to face. There were 2 options, whether do or die. Whether you learn, you go through the online mode and teach students, or leave teaching. So here, no one pushed me. I jumped myself in the big pond without knowing how to swim. I dared to jump, thinking that whether I will die or I will do something, I will make some change. So I didn't have much more knowledge about virtual learning as a teacher. I had as a student, because as a student of Kathmandu University, as a student of different university of US, I knew how to do as a student. I knew how to work in Moodle as a student, but I didn't know how to start Moodle as a teacher, how to start Zoom, how to uh, conduct the class in Google Meet. I didn't, but I dared to jump. Then I decided to learn. I searched, I solved, I spent hours and hours, and I empower myself here. Students. There was lockdown. All the students had left university and the city. They had gone to their house, their home, which uh, it is geographically remotest area. So it was very difficult to have connection with them. So contact and connectionless student. And the another painful story of a student where they didn't have device to use, or they didn't have proper mobile smartphone or laptop for using those apps that we will be, or that we were teaching, or we were using for teaching them. That was the condition, that was the case. These three situations I said. Now struggle. First, first struggle is empowering self. As a teacher, I struggled to empower myself because I was the one who started online class before the university started the training formally. So first struggle was empowering self. So I taught myself, I self-taught, let's say, and then after I took many trainings. After being empowered, I help students to empower. First, when I call and ask them, where are you? How are you? We are going to start online class. Are you okay? They were like feeling pain, panicking. They were panicking. Oh, ma'am, online class. How can we do? We don't have proper internet, and how it will be. And I said, don't worry. Be calm. Feel free. I am there. University is there. All of us are there. First, feel relaxed. We are there to support you. So first thing, I help to relax them because the situation was very heartbreaking. Then I contacted the students personally. Where were they? What was the situation? Whether they will be able to join the class or not. Then third step, I created group in Messenger so that I will know where are the students. I could pass the message. And lastly, I used different online apps for virtual learning, or I started teaching. These are the struggle strategies.
Sure.
First, I used humanistic approach. Before teaching subject, I wanted to test them live. Before teaching the subject, I developed very sound of a good relation with the students so that they will not feel any pain, any panic if they miss any class. Because they were in such a situation that all the students were not or would not be able to take the class. I knew that because geographically it is so remote in their place, in their house, they even the mobile network even didn't work. It still doesn't work. So how can I expect all the students to be in my class? So I help them to be feel relaxed. Don't worry. If you can come to the class, if you cannot, I will prepare all the notes, all the material, and in Zoom we can record, and I will keep you the recorded version of our class. Whenever you will have internet, you will do. I said that. So first, I try to support them emotionally and feel calm. Second, for teaching, I used those platform for virtual learning this Zoom classroom for classroom. I mean, to have a class like this, I use Zoom meeting, and then for Google Classroom, I used for sending assignment, for receiving assignment, for marking and other. Similarly, those students who were not able to attend Zoom class, I prepared notes for them and posted in messenger whenever they were free or whenever they were in online. They used to see it, they used to learn it. And finally, university made a policy regarding virtual learning and assessment that really supported me. By using those strategies, I, I conducted my class. I went in virtual learning, or as a teacher, I used those strategies. Now, this is how the class went. Some samples that how university managed to have online class with the focal person, with the name of teachers. This is how we went during the pandemic. Now, success. I categorize success in this way. For me, the best thing is I had very good relation with the students during that pandemic as well. When they were back, they thanked me. Teacher, thank you so much for helping us to learn, for supporting emotionally, for conducting online class or virtual class. That was my success. Another, I empower my students in using virtual learning platform, and they completed their course on time. Even they appear in exam, and we also conducted in semester or final exam through virtual learning platform, and students were promoted to next semester. And finally, the best part for me is nowadays when I see those students whom I taught how to teach Zoom are taking Zoom classes in their working place. That is the really success for me. And this is the sample how I collected their assignment or midterm exam or in semester exam. This is, and for the plan for me, I'd like to start a speakers club in Midwestern University to improve their English language as well as public speaking skill. This is my favorite time, and finally, thank you. Thank you so much for listening. Here my presentation ends up. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kalpana madam. You have really brought a very meaningful context in this COVID-19 period, and it is very luckily we have got a chance to learn many things from you, like how you face the COVID situation and how it is difficult in the context of Nepal to adopt this kind of a digital ways in training our students. So you have, I'm very inspired by your story, and you have really started with a good motivation slogan that where there is a will, where there is a will, there is a way. That I went through the abstract today, and I came to know that how you have struggled throughout the days in this time, and the way you have adopted the humanistic approach in calming the students. It is really admiring. And you know that the way you presented is very calm and composed. In fact, while training the students, these things are very important, because students are not going to evaluate or get want to be trained by those teachers who are very using a standard English or whatsoever, but how they use this technique or strategies is most important. Even to my experience, I felt it, like how you dealt with their emotions, how you compose them, and how you make the rapport or connection. This is very important. Somewhere you have also worked with the concept of emotional intelligence. So this is really a time for our students to make them a very free, relaxed, and stress-free, because the situation in itself is very stressed, and how we can overcome stress with our ideas and initiations is also one of the tasks of the teachers, to what so far I understand. And you have adopted a very soft skills in training your students, and it has it is very insightful presentation. In fact, got a lot of things of learning, like how you have brought a lot of humanistic values in their concern, how you made them calm, and again how you are working further to make a speakers club, so that each of your students may be definitely good at linguistic skills too. Like linguistic skills, we already know that, like the reading, reading, writing, listening, speaking, and those skills, if are furnished, then definitely we may give justice to our students. So it is very nice to hear from you. You have really made a very commendable job, and we really appreciate it, and got a chance to learn many things from you. And definitely, I think we are inspired by the way you have adopted the soft skills while teaching in this COVID-19 time, during this pandemic. Again, in the time of this, you are also the person of consideration and integrity, to what I understand. Like, as you say that the students were unable due to digital divide or whatsoever and did not connect to your class, you have also facilitated those students with some of the notes you have well prepared and forward in the messenger, and then they started doing so. So rest of the questions you can ask from the floor is open, and the questionnaires are also open. So whoever wants to question to our Kalpana madam are free to answer. Thank you so much, madam, for your wonderful and very insightful presentation. Very effective, very inspirational, very calm and composed. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Professor Priyaji. Yes, any question, please?
Shall I?
Okay.
Yes,
go on, Sagunji.
Yeah, okay. Thanks. Yeah, I completely agree with Puspa Priya madam. Yeah, very calm, composed, and really, a lot of takeaways from your presentation. At first, congratulations. Then some comments and one question. Like what I found is, I think it has to be highlighted. So therefore, I'm just trying to, highlight this point as well. So number one is, like, you have worked with the resources available, which is really a great thing. At times we make like complaints, right? We don't have these resources, this and that, but you worked with the available resources and you made best out of them. Number two, what I found is we sometimes we forget about mental well-being issues, but you dealt in such a way. You said emotional support to the students and through humanistic approach, which I liked it. At times, like, we forget and we just try to manage education the way we can, forgetting the mental well-being aspect. And this is really well done. So it's third one is, like, I found the way you have used various resources, online resources, taking students in mind. For example, Google Classroom and Zoom for those who can come for the online session, and again Messenger as your own self-devised learning management system, I would say, because we don't have. And then you use Messenger to those ones, like, who can only come in Messenger. This is really great. And again, the next point which I liked is you also promoted digital literacy, developed rapport with the students. Now my question to you after this all is, like, okay, you reached to those students who had got internet access, but did you also have some students who couldn't come to your class by any means? And how did you reach out to those students still, right? For example, you said you created notes and then you sent via Messenger to those students who could come with Messenger as well. Have you also found any student who could not come in online situation or online context still, but you could help? Could you just highlight this as well? Yes, thank you.
Yeah, there were many students who were not able to come. For them, I kept all the messenger notes printed and kept. When there was a situation quite comfortable, when they came, I printed and give them. Or for those who were not in my contact, we took from friends. So we had around 2 weeks of uh, gap after the lockdown, before the exam. During that time, uh, I just helped them to learn the thing, subject matter, by providing them hands out after the class is over, not during the class, because no way I was not able to do anything. I did whatever I could do, but there were certain things beyond my capacity. So of course there were many students, they were left behind. I'm very sorry for that. But for them, even I could not make them, or even they were not in my online class. All the materials were saved, and the notes were provided later when the lockdown was over. Only that I could do, and I did that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Priya, Puspa ma'am, yeah, you may, like, because I could see so many hands being raised, you might, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, so I think Dr. Kasiraj Pandit sir also raising the hand.
I think Tirtharaji was
Tirtha-
first before us.
Tirtharaj.
He was before us. So
Yes, so
he should take
Tirtharaj
it
sir go
first.
first.
Am I audible, Puspa ma'am?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay, it was a great presentation of our last presenter, Kalpana ma'am, I guess. And to her, my query is that while mitigating those digital divides, or say resolving those issues by creating our messenger group and other things to include all our learners, what other strategies that she employed to ensure the inclusiveness in our classroom, that is in that distance learning type of platform. So how did she cope with that, and what were our strategies? Would she please elaborate in detail? That was my query, sir. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. So as I already told, when people talk about what is digital divide, I used to think, oh, digital divide, what might be that? But when I really faced what really digital divide is as a teacher, when I came to Surkhet, then it is really heart touching, I mean, divide here. Even you have quality, capacity, but you cannot get that opportunity because you don't have resource. Very good question. I don't say that this story is totally success, because as I said, few students who were not able to attend the virtual learning class were left behind. And the very painful situation was that those students who were very bright, very regular, very good, were not able to attend the online class. Very sad story, because they were in their house and there was no connection. But those who had stayed in Surkhet rarely used to show their face in the class. They took advantage of this. For online class, I mainly use Google Classroom as a LS learning management system, let's say, for providing assignments, collecting their assignments, and number reading or grading them. For passing the information or for conducting class, I use Zoom. Similarly, I even use MS, but it didn't work properly. And mostly I use Messenger. And beside that, sometimes even I forget to say, sometimes even I taught students through mobile, I mean contacts, I mean by calling in their phone. During the exam or during the preparation time, students used to call me and ask me questions. Ma'am, what is this? How to do this? Even I dealt my students through the mobile call. These were the main strategies or main ways how I uh, did it during the pandemic. Did I cover your question or not?
Yeah, ma'am, you did actually. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah, I think Kasi sir too has a question. Dr. Kasi sir.
Well, Pushpa ma'am, it was a Meraki presentation. Thank you, Kalpana, for bringing this your success. Yes, students
What
need.
does that word mean, sir? Meraki?
Okay. Meraki is a kind of you teach with love and you feel something like you make it love and care, all that, right? So it's a perfect
Okay.
and you feel it as if the students need, the teachers feel it. As you are the kind of another word kind of similar with empathizing and giving support, teach with your heart and fullest love kind of thing. So this is your success story. I really love to read your narrative in it. This is one compliment with that. Would you also like to share, which will be very useful for you when you write this success story? I'm going to the theme. Would you also share some of the obstacles you felt? For example, students are not really the way, the level of your motivation. Sometimes what happens is like teachers' motivation is this high, and students are not that much interested. Examples could be, could not be. Sometimes the gadgets, like students don't have the proper gadgets. Sometimes students, they have other kind of needs, other kind of priorities than attending the online class. Sometimes they don't feel easy to turn on their video, all that. Would you like to share some of these things with you, and along with the evaluation also, obstacles during the evaluation, Kalpana, if you can?
So,
Do you want her to share those in her story when she writes, or you want to share right now?
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe I will share when I write, sir.
Yeah, because it's going to take a long time.
Yeah.
But these are very interesting questions, Kasira sir. Very interesting questions.
Well, take it as compliments, then you can just include them.
Sure.
Please keep them in mind when you write it. Your paper will be very interesting to read. Thank you.
Sure, sir. Of course, I will do it. I will do it.
Okay, I think Ram Ashish Girisar too has a question.
Yeah, I think after hearing the questions already answered, I think I will just make a comment and quick query. Yeah, I thought it was really first a story of survival, then ultimately it became the story of success. So from survival to success, and you have journeyed quite well in there. For those who don't know where Surkhet is, it is at, I think Kalpana ji mentioned it in her presentation, it is the remotest area of Nepal. And the reason I like this university, it's one of my favorite universities, is that it is striving to be the best from, being the remotest. So from remotest to being the best. And they have a vision for it. And the vision is reflected in some ways in what Kalpana ji said. The one thing that I like, and I'll come back to my question, is what you said in our presentation, empowering students. And that's important, especially in this time when students are more worried than we are. They're worried about their future. They're worried about their learning. They're worried about their losses. They're worried about their, mental well-beings and so on. And there isn't much help available. So what you have done is try to do everything, empower them. And I quite like that idea. I think that's what we need to do. The question now is, in all this, what is the stand of your institution? What help did you get from your institution in doing everything that you have done?
While doing this, when we were struggling to learn online trainings, I mean, our teachers ourselves, first of all, university organized a 5-day online or virtual learning training for the teachers. That was one of the most important support. Then university prepare a guideline. It is government university, so everything should go in according to the policy, according to rule. Otherwise, there would have come many problems. So university prepare a guideline called Online and Virtual Learning and Assessment Guideline, where each and every steps from taking class to the conducting in semester class were included. So university made me, especially me and other teachers, our help by making the policy. That was the wonderful job. Because at the beginning, I started without knowing anything. Slowly, we started working. University also started working in the policy making. We went to the field, we worked in the field. University authority worked in a paper, so that now we are clear about virtual learning and virtual assessment. That was the great support for me. And another is emotional support. I mean, wow, Kalpana, you are doing good. Keep on going on. My senior authorities used to say that would really encourage me to do best. That would help me. Oh, how can I do better tomorrow? How can I help my students in learning? So that was the positive support from university.
Thank you.
Okay, I think we are already in the end of the session, so I would like to get ahead to the organizer to end the session actually.
Before that, there's a question in the chat box from Saraswati ma'am. Probably Puspa ma'am, I think we'll take one more question and then we'll wind it up. So shall I read on behalf of you or will you?
So that's fine. That's fine. Yeah. I mean, yes, actually, yes, I have dropped one question there. It's around, I think, somehow connected to the question Ramsar was asking, but it's from a student's perspective now. Because if you remember, we had we had a discussion around the impact of COVID-19 on equitable access to learning. So your presentation also clearly indicates that, yes, this COVID-19 has raised a question around students' access to learning, particularly in our context, and also particularly in your context, because you are working in a remote part of our country, Nepal. And we have discussed around digital divide we have in our country. So I'm just wondering, because I can see that you made a great effort to provide learning opportunities, even to the students who had limited access or no access to the internet. But I'm just wondering around, your university's initiatives or your university's support to the students who had limited or no access to learning. So how can your universities, not only yours, maybe how can universities in low resource context promote equitable learning? So, I mean, in your observation, what can they do?
In my view, I had even thought and I had even requested what university could do or can do is like, yes, if there are students who doesn't have internet access in their home, what university could do is like university could request local government of the place or other educational institute and ask or request those offices like BDC, maybe municipality, to support or to provide internet access to the students of university. Or university could do like this: our students are in this place, or our students are in your place. They are not able to be connected, or they don't have resource. So because university is also government, and in each and every village there are many government organizations. So university could request or can request to those local government organization to support them in learning for particular period of time. Maybe in all the BDC, in all the local government office, there might be internet access. If students can reach there in their time, it could request them to use that. I mean, it could request the office to let them use the internet for learning purpose. One could be that. Another, university can request internet provider for providing data in low cost for the special students. University can select the special student and send those data to the internet provider from maybe Whirlink, NTC, etc., and then request them to provide data in low cost. Or university itself can select the student and buy data pack or provide the students for the online class. There are many ways. So only there should be willpower to cooperate the problems. That what I think, Saswati ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I think, I agree with you. Yeah, thank you so much.
Now, shall we conclude then? Okay.
Yes.
So thanks everyone. Thanks today's presenters at first, Anjulama ma'am, Nausin, Pratitji, and Kalpana madam for such wonderful presentations. You made a day finally. So you made our day. So next, and thanks also to the today's chairs, Sariar, Gopal sir, Nusrat, and Pushpapriya madam for wonderful sharing as well. And thanks to the participants for your comments, questions, and taking part in this event. June 5 is the final sharing session. Please note this in your diary as well. So it's the final sharing session of Success Story Forum. We'll have wonderful, I hope we'll have some wonderful sharing sessions that day as well. That day will be a little bit, different than the normal, 3-day sharing sessions. In a sense, we'll also invite some of the members from our partner organizations, for example, like the Hornby Trust UK, British Council of both countries, local organizations such as, let's say, NELTA and BELTA, both countries. So again, it might go a little longer, but we'll try to organize, I don't know, a little longer. It will go a little longer, obviously. But we'll try to make the time quite strict as well, because 2 hours itself is quite long. Again, I would also like to thank to my team members, Dr. Ramas Giri sir, Saraswati ma'am, and my colleague Saifa from Bangladesh. And with this note, probably, and again, if you have any comments or questions as well, all the time. Those who have joined the Edmodo platform, you can always post questions there and we can have the good conversation there as well. Also, you can find resources, all resources online in our website, www.successstoryforum.wordpress. It's made in WordPress.com. So you can go and check resources anytime. And also you can comment there or give claps. So that's it. Once again, thanks a lot, everyone. So hopefully we'll see you all even in the fifth sharing session, which is the final sharing session as well. Yes, thanks. And I would say with this note, we'll end this program. Yes, thanks everyone. Bye from Dublin.
Yeah, bye-bye. Thank you, everybody.
Bye from Kathmandu.
Thank you. Bye from Dhaka.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Bye.